Hey everybody, we are in Santee, South Carolina for this episode. The Gambler Factory Tour is coming at you. We are here, people. We are in Santee, South Carolina at Gambler right now. The new factory, the new plant. We're gonna go see who's here. I think Heath is here. I don't know if Scott's here yet, but we're gonna go check it out. We're gonna get you a tour of Gambler. We're gonna talk about the Gambler boats. Rumor is they just popped one out of the mold not too long ago. We'll be able to see the ins and outs, the things that they talk about, the things that Gambler is and going to be even better of. So I'm jacked, I'm excited. I hope you are. We're doing it because you guys wanted it. We're here at Gambler. Let's go check it out, come on. Clemson. Don't, you can't, no, remember you gotta do this. Do this, see, that way they don't. No license plate. Check it out, Hat Creek Marine, Gambler boats. We're here. Now look at this, how cool is this right here? I think I have that boat right there. Mine looks close to that. Nowhere near that condition, but good stuff.
Yo, what's up, dude?
What's up? How we doing?
Going?
Will? Hey, Andy.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, what's up, man?
Heath Murphy.
Glad you made it, buddy.
Yeah, we made it. We made it. I kind of did a little walk around outside. Yeah, so here we are. We are in Gambler. We are here. You want to introduce yourselves? Go ahead. This is America.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Will Leonard. I'm the sales manager here at Hat Creek Marine, otherwise known as the builder of Gambler bass boats. Hey, what's going on? So I'm Will Leonard. I'm the sales manager here at Hat Creek Marine. Really looking forward to this ride, wherever it takes us. I'm in charge of setting up the dealership network, and we're super excited with Team Marine coming on.
I'm Heath, co-owner, vice president, laminator, the hole driller, everything, whatever it takes. So trying to stay on top of everything that has to do with boats. And I like to say it that way because I'm working, but really I just geek out on boats. So I'm always watching YouTube videos and social media stuff, and I'm in all the forums. And I just stumbled upon the Team Marine thing, and I think the first one I stumbled onto was one of the Champ videos, and you were talking about the transoms, and I was actually working on a Champion transom at the time. And I was like, you know what? You cut the BS and started just talking, this is good, this is not, it was facts. And I could tell there was no ulterior motive in it. And I like that, because it seems like everything you watch now, it's sponsored by something. There's a brand involved. You could tell they're peddling a product, and you weren't. And I was like, I appreciate that. It's like, you know what? I want to talk to that guy. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I mean, I build boats. You're talking about shop stuff. But so I just called the shop. I found the number and just hit it off. Here we are.
So what we're going to basically try to get you guys is the introduction to basically a company that has what you would say was put on idle, kind of, before you guys got it. It was just kind of just thrown to the wayside. Still building boats. Maybe,
here and there,
maybe.
Yeah.
Basically put on idle, never really went away. Everybody thinks they completely went away. I don't think they ever really went away. It was just the fact of other ownership really didn't have the aggression no more to keep going. Yeah. Other things, other visions.
Yeah, they had shifted to the saltwater market, and it's kind of like Gambler down.
And we'll get into kind of how it all came about, but basically Scott and then Heath ended up just grasping it and taking it a hold and taking a vision and knowing they have a great product, and we're just going to take it to the next level. So that's kind of why we're here, getting you the ins and outs. You're going to see everything. You're going to see what they're doing. So at this point, we're just going to, I think, just get a little tour here for you guys. Have Heath kind of go through some stuff. We'll throw his 2 cents in, 5 cents, whatever he's got as we go through. But I think we're just going to start with just some odds and ends things inside the offices here. We'll just kind of walk through if you want to. All right, let's do it. And then if we're lucky enough today, maybe Heath will take us out in one. Maybe.
Absolutely. So, this is the parts room. It's kind of the beginning of the beginning, other than the fiberglass rolls. This is where all the parts come in and start. It's a little bit of a mess right now. We're still getting everything up and going and organized, but what you see here is essentially everything from where you start building a boat. Yep. And this whole wall just kind of goes in the process of building a boat and then transfers over to our little racks here. It's pretty meager probably compared to a lot of boat shops. But,
yeah, but let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about age. You guys aren't necessarily old.
No, not as a company.
Correct. As a company, these guys are just getting to that point. You know what I mean? So, and that's what's so cool about being here at this spot. We're here at this spot right now because we're seeing where they're at, and I guarantee you, if we do this 4 or 5 years from now, things are going to be way different.
Oh yeah,
way different. So the nice thing is let's just say we're coming into a new baby, and as this thing grows, we're just going to keep. This company's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So this is what's cool for you guys. You get to see kind of the beginning of the new Gambler Hat Creek boat and how things are going to happen. And then it'll be interesting to watch this growth. So this is what's cool about being here right now, because this is what you see here. Other boat companies are probably like, yeah, well, but they all did it too.
Yeah.
They all did it unless they had multi-billion-dollar big money right away.
Right. Which has happened.
Which has happened. Right. So there's money. Everything's good. It's just the fact of you got to work out quirks, and we're going to see. It's like my company when I started, and that's why I like doing this type of things. Like you guys understand, is I was this big too at one time, and now I'm in South Carolina on an airplane while my guys are working. That's pretty cool to me. So, so it's just awesome for me to be here. I'm just jacked to be here right now. So let's just kind of walk through here. So when we start to finish, let's just go through here. Obviously this is all. Yeah. When it comes to resins and stuff like that or whatever.
Yeah. We got mold prep, waxes,
okay.
PPE, your mask, Tyvek suits, your paint for masking.
Cool.
Strainers for the flake. We inherited some flake. Some of it's got a little moisture in it, so you got to get that out of there. And then you got paint guns, all the way down. We start getting into some of our tools.
Okay.
And again, we don't have a ton of stuff, but we don't really need a ton of stuff. We don't build, 1,000 boats a year. We build, 20, 50, 100 boats a year.
Right,
so,
exactly.
We kind of have what we need. We run a tight ship. This little corner, actually, I'm prepping boat parts for the first couple boats here. So I've got, like, the guy wanted the Bass Boat, or the Boat Logic's mount here, and this is all his stuff. You see King written on a bunch of things, Mr. King's boat.
And all that stuff is like when they go on the website. When they go on the website, they can kind of pick and choose what they want to do, kind of.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Right, yeah. You pick and choose, but then, somebody's going to immediately call. Okay. So, like, there's no prices. It doesn't immediately hit you back, because we always want to talk with the customer about how do you use your boat? Where do you fish? What is it, a river, a lake, or how do you set it up? And then just make sure that we are setting things up the way they want it, the way they'll need it. And also make sure that, they're picking the right model, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll call first and go through all of those details.
So more like when we talk on the phone, like you say, the gambler experience. Right. From start to finish, you guys want to be involved.
Oh, absolutely.
You want to know what they're doing. You want to know. It's just not, here's your boat that's sitting out on, I'm not going to say whose lot, and then you just go grab it and buy it. Right. That's not what you want.
No. There's a lot of places that you call, and not only you're just a number, but you're kind of a nuisance, or at least it feels like it.
Yep.
I know from experience.
Oh, me too. Exactly.
And we just want to make sure that nobody ever has that feeling. I want to know every one of our customers' name and by person. I don't want them to know me by name.
Right.
And I feel like they can call and talk and ask questions about the boats and whatever. So, yep.
Like I say, family, and that's what's important. Let's just look at some of this stuff. Obviously, Boat Logic, a lot of people know about it, but you've been talking to me about steering wheel. You're talking to me about the steering wheel.
Yeah.
I want to see this thing.
Yeah.
I want to know.
So we'll get these flown in from Italy. Yeah. So just all the parts and pieces on the boats. I know I'm big into the details, so I think that's really what separates, a good boat from a nice boat. And gamblers are nice boats.
Yep.
I think most people are aware of that. But like, feel that steering wheel, man.
It may look light. It's not light. This is flexing right now to hold this. This is crazy. This is crazy.
So we use just high-end, high-quality parts on the boat.
The steering wheel. unbelievable. Have you ever seen something so cool as this? Like I said, in the video, if you could really hold this thing, it would blow your mind. It's made in Italy. Come on.
We don't cut any corners.
Can you get that? Do you get that
the
thing?
best of the best.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And these are from Italy.
Yep. So everything
Comes with a cover.
Yeah, from steering wheels to 24-ounce carpet, not the 16, not the, you know, we use the good stuff.
Great. That's all.
And you know, part of the thing, like I was saying, with us calling and talking, is, you know, gamblers are custom boats, and you know, we don't customize the molds for everybody, but you get custom colors, and everything that goes in the boat is pretty much up for grabs. You know, if somebody's got something that they want in their boat, then we'll do it.
Okay.
So you, the dealers, whoever, you know, will just be able to deliver exactly what they want, and we're flexible. You know, we don't have contracts with, you know, so and so making the switches or anything like that, which why the boats cost maybe a little bit more, but it's also why we can just shift on the fly and do whatever you want. Right.
As long as your boat's not through production, you can change a little bit here and there, depending on what step it's on.
Exactly. And we don't have a warehouse full of these particular parts and pieces that you're just stuck with.
Right.
You know, we've just got enough to do a couple, you know, whatever boats are on hand, and then whatever you want, we'll order it.
I'd want to do it the way you just did it, versus going to grab one that I call a barcode boat and just grab it off the lot.
Right. Exactly.
You don't know who did it. You don't know who was part of the boat. You don't know who rigged it. And in my business, I've seen it time and time again. People say, well, I got this $80,000 boat. I've had it where live well valve cables are pinched. I've had drilled through hydraulic hoses. We've had gas tanks. We've had just things that are just a mess. And not that you want to blame it on somebody, but how did it get through production without somebody seeing it? Right. It's a brand new boat. And I can almost guarantee everybody that's watching that that'll never happen here again. But you may get a little here and there, but between this guy, between everybody else that's here, I think it's, like I said, more about family. They're committed to excellence. They're committed to being a great company. And I think that's what's going to be important as you walk through this video with us. So we'll just keep going here. Let's just keep going what we're talking here. So when we got the parts room, and it was just awesome to start to finish, to see boat starts here. By the time it gets to here, parts-wise, it's finished. It's amazing how it's just parts upon parts upon parts upon parts, and then it just, it's very similar to kind of what we do here, start to finish, but you got an assembly line. It was just really cool, really, really cool.
Tell them about sample stuff. Yeah. This is first boat. We did color samples and had them come up and check everything out, and we do those too, just because it's a big deal, it's a big commitment, so we'll do color samples of that. When you pick out the colors on the website, that just gets you in the ballpark, gets you close. So then we'll actually put together some color samples. Okay, here's what our interpretation of your colors that you picked out are, and get them to sign off on it.
So you'll do that
with the actual flake.
So you'll make an actual flake, like that piece like that. For them to be like,
we'll do cut little circles out of them, and be like, here are the actual colors, and just make sure that because on the computer things look a certain way. On your phone, they look a little different, you know, on the screen. Yeah, I mean, when I went on your website and I started looking at the boat builder thing, that's crazy. The color thing, it's just like you can really get. I'd be there for hours just playing around. You know what I mean? That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. The color sampling is, I would say, probably one of the most important parts when you're selecting. Being able to see it, look at. I'm not an internet buy guy, I guess you'd call me. I like to see it, touch it, feel it, smell it. You know, it's just as cool. But that's what was all cool about what Heath had there in his hand, and when we were looking at it, because looking through a lens is different. Obviously, George would critique to that. It's different than just physically seeing it. So I'm definitely one of those guys that want to be able to color select like that. I felt like I was back in kindergarten, just like drawing stuff again. It was cool. It was cool. So, all right, let's go through here. Let's just see what's going on. Andy, I was thinking you might want to like get some stuff done while you're here. Yeah. So I took the. That's perfect. I got my own office. Yeah. Is this, careful. Is this attached or no? No. Just what's my job? Well, I mean, you got your prop tools here, so I think you can do this pretty simple math. Well, that's what I'm doing today, but I also have some bug stuff. Those are yours too. Okay. Yeah, the brooms. All right, and I got my outlaw stick. I'm ready to rock and roll. What about this? Is this me too? Yeah, all you, man. When do I start? Looks like you just did. All right.
You better call back. Call back to the shop. Tell them I'm not coming back. Sign me up. By the way, FYI, Neil, if you're watching, shop's yours. I'm done. Can I take this home with me, this chair?
No, I think that actually belongs to somebody.
You sure? So up front, our apology for the noise in the background. It's kind of like when we film here and the guys are still working. We're not going to stop them from making boats because we're in there filming. So you're going to hear some noise, some stuff going on in the background, sanding, cutting. All that stuff needs to happen while we were there. It's just part of the atmosphere, and we didn't want them to stop. We want you to understand what's going on. So we do apologize, though. Yep.
We build a full liner hull, which means that you got your hull mold, and then you have got a full liner that goes in there.
Okay.
And we foam inject, high pressure foam inject between those, and then you've got a deck. Where most boats you've got a hull, you've got a bunch of little boxes glassed in for foam, and then you've got a deck on it. So our boat has got an entire another layer and throughout foam, which gives us this like a super solid rigid feel. Not to mention, if you remember the old Ranger commercials where they cut the boats in half and they flip up, same thing here. You know, foam throughout.
Okay.
I actually had a guy send me a picture and thank me. He had an older gambler, but he just called gambler and wanted to talk. And he was night fishing and got hit by this big ski boat thing, colossal.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it hit him kind of quartering in the front and drove him underwater for about 100 yards before the guy realized what was going on in the other boat and stopped. And it split the whole front of the gambler open. Not to mention he was underwater, the entire boat, like went under like a crankbait on the other boat. And when he backed off, the whole boat popped up and it floated above the rub rail. Like rub rail was above the water line, and the guy was like incapacitated. He said that had he not been in the gambler and the gambler not had still been such a stable, safe platform, he would have drowned. So
it's crazy. See that? Yeah. That's just testament to the boat. Testament to the hull.
Yeah.
So what do we got here? What am I? I mean, I know what I'm looking at, but they may not know what I'm looking at.
So this is basically the floor of the boat, the inside.
This is the inside of the boat,
Under the compartments. This is under the center compartment. This is the floor in the deck, the cockpit. That's the sump that you see sticking up there.
Yep.
And this all gets flipped over.
Yep.
Set inside the hull mold.
Okay.
And then we bolt the molds together.
All right.
And then we've got ports that we foam inject through. You can see them on the deck.
Yep.
We've got a big high pressure foam gun that we will go in. We've got a special sequence that we do a count.
Okay.
And you count out each hole and the foam goes in. It all expands, it comes up out of the vent holes and you know it's good. Let it cure for a day. So that's something else that's unique. It takes multiple days for us to do the parts in each mold, whereas a lot of companies will do the parts in the mold, let them kick, pop them out as soon as they cure, and then start building the next set of parts in it.
Yeah.
Whereas like our holes stay in the mold for 3 days.
Okay.
So we'll have a whole two lamination schedules the first day. It sits overnight. Another lamination schedule, so it doesn't build up too much heat. So you do it in layers, and we let it cure, and then it keeps going that way.
Okay.
But that's another. It just takes longer. There's just more involved in building gamblers.
Yeah, and like I've always said, quality takes time. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Quality takes time. And it doesn't matter if I'm working on a boat rigging it or one of my guys are rigging it. It all comes back to time. It comes back to how much quality do you want to put into your product. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. So what size is this one?
20'7", so it's what we call the new 21.
The 21.
Yep. And that's that boat right there.
That's that one right there.
And that's the only one of those boats that exists. This is a brand new boat, brand new hull, brand new mold. That's the first boat to ever come out of these sets of molds, and it's the only one. Yeah. It's gonna be very well received. It's very impressive. I'll just say that.
Are we going in that one today?
Yes.
We're going in that one today.
Yeah. You can't show that too close, man. That's the magic.
Yeah.
That's the magic.
Stay away.
You can go climb under when we're done there. But just looking at it, immediately is different than every other hull.
Oh, but yeah.
I mean, it is. I think the only thing a little bit similar are some of the bass cats, and they still have a couple slight differences. But
okay.
the thing just generates a ton of lift, and you notice that the keel on this boat, it doesn't have that big swoop hook nose like a lot of the boats on the market.
Yeah.
But that's because a lot of the boats on the market are just using that like a band-aid to try to make the boat ride better, to let it cut waves.
Right.
Whereas they don't have the dead rise built into the hull correctly to actually make the hull do what it's supposed to. So a lot of guys will look at this and think, oh, the boat's not going to ride good because it doesn't have this big swoop, keel under the front to cut the waves. But it couldn't be any further from the truth.
Right.
That actually is not what it takes to make a boat ride good. It's the dead rise through the entire length of the boat that makes it not slap. Like, you know what I mean? Some boats are just.
Oh, I get exactly.
They do okay. Like the big hook boats, they do fine as long as you're going straight into the waves. But as soon as you start quartering into them, it starts just beating you to death on the side of the boat.
Where you get this and a rock down, and then you get slapped. Yeah.
So whenever we foam inject, we have to do a foam test, and we'll just basically shoot it in the bag, make sure the foam comes out the right ratio and at the right speed.
Okay.
So we do this and we check it, but this is the foam that goes in the boat, so it's not super heavy, but it's substantial. You add that to the heavy, fiberglass lamination schedule we got, and it's just a bullet structure at the end.
Build them and throw them at my kid. That's what I would do. You hear that, boy? What do we got here?
So this is the actual assembled hull and liner. So this is what I was talking about, where we do this is the 21.9. This is the 22 Gambler or the Elite. This is the hull that you would get to the boat.
Okay.
So you still see the standpipes from when we did the injection. That's the ports we put all the foam in through.
All right.
This hasn't been trimmed up or cleaned up or anything, but this is the floor of the boat. So there's no exposed foam, there's no wood anywhere, obviously, but there's not even a
box. That's what I'll see.
That's the bottom.
That's the bottom. So we get the.
Yep.
This is it.
Yep. This is the boat.
I can put a motor on here.
So we were talking a little bit yesterday about the transom.
Yeah.
So we've got the full transom lamination schedule on the hull itself.
Yeah.
So we got the 1.5 inch thick Cusa. We got all the heavy lamination over that. Got everything tapered, and so it's optimum strength, tied into the knee braces that go through the boat.
Right.
Really sturdy. It would be sufficient. And then we've got the liner that goes on, and we've got a whole another lamination schedule that matches that right here in the top of these over the knee braces. We have 4 stringers through the boat. The 2 on the outside come straight up to here, tie into the transom block.
So we're tied in from here all the way up.
Yep. And then we got 2 here that go down, and then they run down the inside. So there's 4 8-inch tall stringers that run through the boat that are glassed in. These bonding putty, structural putty, this part of the liner to the top of the knee braces, and it all gets sandwiched in, and it's solid one piece. So it's like it's got 2 transoms in it.
Yes, I'm looking at that right there, and I'm going.
And this is, knock on that. You're a boat guy.
Yeah. That reminds me of, and I talked to you before about my old Gambler when I was trying to mount my power pole pumps back in here. I literally could not use stainless steel self tappers. They would dull them out by the time I got done everything. Can you hear that? Feels like I'm hitting this. This is actually more solid. That's insane. That is crazy.
Yeah, you'll probably break whatever it is you're trying to hit or pull or whatever before that transom gets. Like a swivel bracket is gonna let go before that transom.
Yeah. Did you get that? That's insane. This here, when I was staring here, talk to me about that.
Oh, the fins?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what we did is we cleared the back of the boat.
Yeah.
Everything that was catch and spray that isn't supposed to be cut and spray, they cut away. Okay. And they left these fins because when you turn, all the water rushes and it gives it a little bit of edge to bite. Yep. And it just keeps it from sliding as much.
Like other companies slide. This one doesn't slide. Okay.
It will slide, but you have to try extremely hard.
Yeah.
Like the video we watched yesterday.
Yeah.
Like 4.3 Gs.
Yeah.
And it's pretty insane. Yeah, they'll absolutely corner like an Indy car.
Yeah. Did you hear that? Cornering at 4.3 Gs.
Yeah.
Like you want to get in an F-16 Fighter Eagle, or you want to get in a Gambler and go catch 4.3 G's on a turn. I think I'd get in a Gambler. Granted, up in there it'd be good, but I don't have control up there. Down here I do. Yeah. That's bad. That's bad.
So what did you want to ask about?
I just wanted to talk, let's see this, like you were talking. We were talking about the hull itself.
Right.
We were talking about how other boats come in a little bit deeper.
It's basically making up for a poor hull shape.
Yeah.
They use the big hook to start the transition, make the impact process take a little longer, the transition is a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
But you don't need it. It's because they don't have any dead rise in the rest of the hull.
Okay.
So if you ever look at a Gambler from the front, it's a big wide boat sitting on top of a skinny boat, skinny, narrow, sharp boat. And that's what makes it ride good. So we don't have to drop the nose down and bury it and really plow really hard to make the boat ride good.
Okay.
That's different. Yeah. And at speed, it still rides good.
That's the key. Not getting out of the gas.
Right.
Not getting out of the gas. Staying in it, going by everybody else that's slowing down.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Hence champion feel. Champion feel.
Yeah. So this is a good angle. Look right here. It's a big wide boat sitting on a skinny narrow boat.
Yep.
That's what's the real steep dead rise. That dead rise is what makes a boat ride good. When it gets flatter, you start catching the waves, so you want that thing really turned up on the sides.
Yep.
I hate wire slap in a boat.
Yeah.
When you're going over waves and you just hear the wires just and the gunnels slapping around. It just doesn't feel like a tight quality thing. So when we cut our wiring tubes, we leave these tabs on them. And the tab, when you get the boat actually where it's going, the wires all sit down here and we can zip tie them. And that keeps the wires from slapping around. We put the zip ties where you can get to it with your hand, because eventually you might have to change out a component or change a motor rigging or something like that.
Right.
But that just one of the little things that we do at Gamblers. Doesn't take any effort, doesn't cost us any money really.
So I can get my hand to that? Because I'll preach your name in the wrong words if I can't get to that.
Well, I understand. I work on boats.
Yeah, that's the key, you know what I mean? Being able, as in my business, being able to, when someday that boat's 20 years old, somebody wants to repower or do something different and I can't get to things. That's one of my biggest complaints about other boat companies is zip tie. But being able to get to it, that's huge. That's huge. See, talking to guys that work on boats helps.
Yeah, that's insane.
So, like we say in some of the over-unders, and we talk about some things like service shop. Being a service shop guy for 20 plus years, it is nice to know that Heath Murphy's out there thinking of those types of things. When it comes to this cable has to go, maybe come out sometime. They're thinking of that. So the service shop thought process is going into the boat also, which is super nice to know. At the end of the day, I don't care who gets the boat, when they're out of warranty and they're gone and they got to come to places like me, and I got to bring my boat in and it takes me 3 hours to change one cable because everything was a pain in the ass. Well, that's not justification to the boat company itself, because if I can get it, I should be able to get it done in an hour, in and out, done, out the door. And that's just saying something that you're looking towards the future. You're looking towards after the fact. You know what I mean?
I've never owned a new boat before. I've always had old boats. I'm always working on them.
Right.
Which is how I got here doing this, is I love to do that.
Right.
But I also understand what things are a pain in the ass.
Right.
And why, and excited at the opportunity to try to make good on some of that stuff, make it easier, do it in a way that makes more sense.
Yeah. Understanding after the fact is the deal. So the whole Heath Murphy thing with talking about he's owned boats, and he's exactly right, he's owned a lot of boats, old boats. This guy has tried to take the old boat and modernize it, utilizing his knowledge and his techniques to make it so it is an absolute perfect fit for this guy's mind to be put into a brand new boat. So that's kind of where I'm going with Heath Murphy and the new boat. I mean, that's like a match made in heaven. It's great. So this guy you hate, you can put him on here all by himself. You don't like this guy because he's noisy. Yeah, he's noisy as hell. Listen to him.
So we've got strong ventilation in here to help with the dust, because this fiberglass dust is nasty stuff.
Oh, horrible.
And believe it or not, we're a small team. We know each other. We're friends.
Right.
I don't want them breathing that crap.
Right.
So we built this just to keep the sound out of the big concrete shop, which would be deafening, and so we can generate enough airflow over them to keep them clean, keep the dust off of them. Got a big filter wall in the back with a big, huge fan, and just where we cut all the fiberglass parts. Keeps the shop cleaner.
Yep.
Keeps the people happier. Keeps them healthy.
Except for this guy. This guy's mad right now.
No, he's good.
Is he?
Yeah. Pretty important. So having that, the compressor with the refrigerator dryer gives you in a big tank, receiver tank, helps us maintain proper pressure at all the tools, to the spray equipment, make sure we don't get any water in anything. There's no contamination in the lamination stuff. It's just key. It's really the compressor system is the lifeblood of boat building.
Okay.
Nothing, everything pretty much stops when we lose air.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things we spent some money on and have a good setup. We built a pad, we did all that stuff for, because it's just a key part of the process.
Right.
That's important. Well, first of all, coolers are very important to me in general. When you get out on the lake, fishing a tournament, you want to have ice in your cooler, either to put in your live well, to help with, keep the fish alive, or to keep your drinks. So I went out in one of another boat that I won't mention, and had just enough room for like 6 bottles of water and part of a 10-pound bag of ice. And by 2 o'clock, when I was headed back to weigh in, I went to grab my protein bar out of the top of the cooler, and it was melted. It was goo. Yeah, that's crap.
Yeah, right.
No good.
Right.
So immediately, one of the first things I'm doing with these boats is extended the cooler 3 inches, or the cooler step here 3 inches, and then I'm going to extend it another 3 inches back in the back, so we get 6 inches. So you can get like 3/4 of a case of water, 20-ounce water bottles, and a 20-pound bag of ice, and an inch of foam all the way around it to insulate it properly. I want 1.5 inches, but we're gonna have to do a little more, significant more work, but it'll be 1 inch. So
another cool thing about this boat, that back in the day when Sterling released that Sterling and they talked about it, and things are probably still the same. If you open this, all your pumps are right there.
Oh yeah,
correct?
Yep. And we can go show that in the boat.
Yeah. Well, let's go look at. Can we look at this one here?
Yeah.
And then we'll look at this one here, and we'll kind of go through he can kind of explain what's going on. But the cool part is you get a pump that fails, you're not going to the back of the boat. You're not trying to get around the gas tank.
You're not standing on your head.
You're not standing on your head. You're just going to open this, and the pumps are going to be right there. Yeah. So let's go talk about that a little bit. My absolute favorite part of the whole boat, besides the performance and how cool it is and how kick-ass the boat is the center section to where I can work on my pumps. I can fix things on the fly, basically, if I need to. It is all right here next to me, or actually right here next to me. Passenger, you got a pump that goes bad, passenger can actually probably put it in while we're running. But thank you. That's all I got to say. Thank you. Right there. Like, that's completely bad.
This is a test boat, so the wires are probably hanging and whatnot. So
I'm sitting right here, and I can see the drain plug. I can see concrete right through the boat. So if you take that camera, you'll be able to see me through there. That's insane. And that motor's back there.
Yeah.
So you understand what we're saying here, people?
It's different.
That drain plug is probably in line with that seat post close to it, don't you think?
Yeah, probably.
It's probably right there. So that seat post hole right there, that drain plug's right almost below it, if not maybe 2 inches, 3 inches behind it. And that motor's way back there. That's crazy.
It's different. It's different than any boat on the market. I don't know if people realize that. You know, they look at all the other big name brands out there, and they think they're so different. And you look at them, but when you look at a Gambler, it's so much different. It makes all the rest of us look the same. They're all so similar. There's really only one boat that's truly unique now. They're all kind of subtle hobbies of each other.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They're changing more to a carbon copy style boat. And that's the problem is I think people have come accustomed to that style. And they're like, well, that's just the boat.
That's just what boats look like.
That's what boats are supposed to look like. No. They don't have to be.
No.
They don't have to be.
There are better ways.
Yeah.
And then your jack plate's the same. And then this is a trim tab controller. So
trim tab controller, people.
yes, trim tabs
Trim
on a
tab.
bass boat. Yep. So it just automates everything. You get it to where it's listening, so you got a chub partner.
Yeah.
You the guy you were worried about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, throwing everything off. You can actually turn this and counter his weight.
Counterbalance it out so the boat wants to run. True.
Yeah. And then push home and then go back up, out of the way, off you go.
Exactly the way it should be. It's perfect. It's like it's perfect in my eyes because it feels like I'm sitting behind a Corvette or something. It's cool. It's badass. It's literally badass. Everything is right here. Everything is so user friendly. The HES 9 looks perfect there. Granted, everybody wants 19 units on their boat nowadays. And I know you're doing some stuff with that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
oh yeah, we're working on here.
But in my eyes and what I do, I need nothing more than one unit right here. I honestly just need one unit right here. And I mean, you could probably, I've seen some guys put some out here and do some other stuff.
Yeah, rail mounts and whatnot.
Yeah, do some other things, but it's clean. It is clean. And I've always said you don't need but a water pressure gauge and a tack. That's all I ever figured.
Yeah, we're actually moving more to the electronic gauge stuff, getting everything on the graph, using the network. But there's a couple things that are mission critical to me. One is fuel.
Yeah.
I want a mechanical fuel gauge because that's one of the things I need to know how far I can run or how far I can go before I, if I need to get back.
Yep.
If your graph or electronics, take a crap on you, your network goes down, your NEMA cable gets burned up, whatever. I still want to know how much fuel I have because you can still keep fishing as long as you know how much gas you got, that you have enough gas to get back. Everything else is pretty much not mission critical. Like, yeah, the water pressure is important normally. However, in a situation, an emergency situation, you can drive a boat without a water pressure gauge.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's not going to put your tournament at risk or, jeopardize the
It's got alarms for that.
Yep, exactly.
So in the boats, you were talking 5 batteries?
Yeah, we run 5 batteries. So we run a crank battery, we run a house battery that's dedicated to your electronics, and then we run the trolling motor system. So usually 3 batteries for 36 volts.
So you're subbing everything away from the house or the crank battery?
Yeah. Well, all the electronics are pulling so much juice these days between the big graphs, the hydro waves, all these things, the power poles, all this stuff is just dragging. And you try to do one battery in your crank battery and use it for all those things, they get tired. You fish a long day, especially around here where we got a lot of cypress trees. You got a lot of pull up, pull down, pull up, pull down, pull up, pull down, and you're really hammering those batteries. The extra capacity is nice to have. In addition to helping keeping all your electronics, the signals clean, the power clean, keeping all your switch circuits and all that stuff off of your battery that's powering your electronics. So you got crystal clear signal, clean power. So we run 5 batteries.
And still getting 80-ish miles an hour, 82, depending on the driver.
Yeah, I've never driven one of these boats and not gotten over 80. This boat right here is usually 83, 84, 85 in the wintertime. The big boat is 83, 82, 83, loaded.
Loaded.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me before too about testing. You test loaded.
Yeah, I always test loaded. I don't ever drive an empty boat when I go fishing, so why would I want to test it that way?
Right. So the speed thing, like the doesn't matter, 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, you're only a mile an hour or a mile, 1.5 miles an hour difference in load, and the boat is physically heavy. For it to produce that kind of runnability, that kind of speed, with the different changing of load, so crucial in tournament fishing, to know that you're still gonna get 81, 82, 83, 84 miles an hour out of that boat, depending on what boat you have, what motor you have. But the load really has no variance on ride and or speed. It's so crucial in fishing. Not plastic.
No.
Not plastic. Hello? Not gonna break. Not plastic.
And we went to a bigger door because...
Listen, slam it. It's not gonna break. Ready? I'm gonna slam it again. See, it didn't break.
We're going to a bigger door because if you reach in there and grab something, you got hands like mine. It's like a raccoon trap. Like, you can't get your hand back out if you have something.
Up into here too?
Yeah.
Did you notice when I was sitting there that I could stretch, I'm 6'3", and I could stretch my feet. There's not many passenger boats that I can do this in. I'm not touching up there yet. Now I'm starting to touch. I'm stretching my toes out. Comfort. It's like when I flew out here. I had to fly first class, so I didn't end up being in a turd box.
Did you just say you flew first class?
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Scotty G.
I didn't want to interrupt y'all's thing.
You want to introduce yourself to the world?
Scotty G, president of Gambler. I'd like to introduce myself to the Gambler family since I'm the new one to the family. And my name is Scott Gwynn. Most people call me Scotty G. I'm about 50 years old, close to it. I'm one of those people that have known what I wanted to do for my whole life since I was 9 years old. So this has kind of been a dream, you know, 40 years in the making. Just stay tuned. You'll see us around, and it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I can't wait.
So you see, I've been pulling on wires and changing wires.
Yeah. I'm just showing them this. This is exactly what I think America wants to see, is this right here. I could crawl in there. I literally could crawl in there if you wanted me to. Man, I'm telling you, for a guy like me that loves to flip and 7-8 foot rods, this is perfect. Perfect. I love that. Does this box get smaller in the front than it does in the back, or is it the same?
No, it tapers a little bit.
It does
but
taper
I mean,
a
your
little
rods aren't as big in the front as they are in the back.
Right,
So.
but what I'm saying is you end up with this in most boats, you know what I mean? To where it's like, you can't, I can grab anything I want here, you know?
Yeah, so I'm putting switches on all compartments.
Mm-hmm.
This is a switch I'm testing. Right there it is going to be getting hung on stuff, but it'll be back there. But it'll have it so that it, you know, when it gets dark, it'll be tied with your nav lights. Whenever you're running your anchor light, the compartment light circuit will be on. And whenever you open something, the lights just come on.
Right, like a car.
And you close it, they go off, and it's not draining your battery.
Like a car at night, and you open up the door. Lights come on. So you can get in and out. Yeah, it's just common knowledge. It's just common sense that I guess a lot of old companies don't use common knowledge anymore. So you can get right to the trolling motor batteries. They're right here. They're literally right below me right here. And I know some guys that have taken the older gamblers and moved their batteries up here.
Right, yeah.
They've stacked them in the back of that center compartment, you know, modified them to make them work. I'm actually doing that one to that Suzuki, the one we just put Suzuki on. He wants them in that big compartment in his right in the middle, so I think that's what they should be doing back home now. Mm-hmm. But that'll still be there when I get there. But no,
Yeah,
I mean,
there will actually be a little drop-in tackle tray.
that fits right inside.
It fits right there, yeah. Right over the battery.
Just for like your tournament, quick stuff you want.
Yeah, it'd be like a little day box. And it's gonna take a mold change, but I'm gonna flip this lid so it opens that way.
Yeah, see, now we're thinking. Now we're thinking. No, I love it, Heath. Flip the lid, buddy. We're on the same page.
What are you talking about, Andy?
Talking about where the power pole pump.
So there's a space. If you look right here behind this armrest piece, and this bulkhead, there's a space right in there, and that's where the power pole
Back
is.
in here.
Yeah. And you can get to them like usually like on the big boat. This battery's not here.
Yep.
And they went out right there, so you can get to them.
Get right to it.
A lot of people see the trim tabs and how they're tucked in and all hidden in the boat.
Yeah, we're gonna.
And they're just scared to death. Like, what happens if they go out? How do you change it? How do you work on it? How do you get to it?
Right.
They're right here. It's 3 screws. Loosen this cable way and it just falls out the bottom.
Boom, falls right
Just
out.
falls right out. This is above the water line too. We seal it up, but I mean, so all of our stuff, like so many boats will have plastic gas fill vent, you know, made in one. They usually dry rot after time. They turn white. We use all stainless stuff. What do you think, Andy?
Thoroughly impressed. Like I figured I would be.
This is my test boat. This is my beater. Yeah. So this didn't get any of the bells and whistles, you know, unless it's something I'm testing specifically. Just because we're not made of money.
You gotta have one to be done.
Yeah.
And one to drill holes in and test stuff. And by the time it's done, it'll be, thank you, appreciate what you did for me. We'll just slide you off to the side.
This one will be around a long time. Since it was the first one. But I mean, yeah, we'll test with it, but I'm gonna try not to break it. Yeah.
So my initial impressions when I got here to Gambler was it's bigger than what I thought it was going to be, and the people are actually better than what I thought it was going to be. And not saying that, but being in this industry for so long, dealing with so much, let's say, politics that I talk about in this industry, where you can't get a hold of the right person, you can't be in touch with that. And I know some of you people are probably gonna say, well, we can't get in touch with you. Yeah, I get it, I understand, but I do return calls. The fact of the matter is being able to come here and see the visions and being able to see the people and talk to the people, physically talk to the owner, watch the owner do some work, talk to Heath, end up watching him and getting this pick in his mind, and talking to Will about just the future of what they see for dealers and they see for the boats in general. That itself just gives me that family feel, that family orientation, and that look of future. And watching the guys in the shop work, and yeah, it's not like I'm looking at 300 guys working. I'm watching 3 people. I'm watching in the cutting, out where they're cutting boats. I'm watching a woman go in there and literally bust her ass to make a quality product. I'm watching guys sand. I mean, you could hear them through the whole thing, constantly working, constantly trying to make it so when the product is finished, the product is #1. Finally, I'm here out on the water, ready to run a test. All right, we're here at the lake. We're gonna go give this machine a run. I'm gonna hang out with, I'm gonna ride with Heath here. He's gonna give me the lowdown. We're gonna go through it a little bit. Come along, let's go.
What are your thoughts?
I'm excited.
I'm always excited.
Back us in, Will. Let's go.
You guys ready?
We are. Before I get to jump in the driver's seat, you always got to experience the passenger seat when you've never driven a boat of this standard. I've driven a lot of boats in my life, but for me to be sitting in the passenger seat with Heath Murphy, probably the guy that knows the most about this boat and the functionality of it, was huge and crucial. So I had to get a little test run on the passenger side before you could get the captain's quarters, let's say. .83 miles an hour never felt so smooth, let's just put it that way. Didn't even feel like 83. I knew we were going fast, but it didn't feel like 83. The experience from the passenger seat was something that I think if you physically got in the boat, and I put you in the passenger seat and I took you for a drive in 2-footer, 3-footer, 4-footer, 5-footers, you'd be sold. And that's all I got to say. You'd be buying one.
So let's hear it. What are the thoughts?
It's impressive. It's very impressive. Top end performance was impressive, but like we were just talking, we got over on the other side of the lake, and more chop, way more chop than what's over here, and it handles water and accepts water. And when I say accepts water, it accepts different angles of waves. It accepts it so well, it rolls and it holds, and Heath had us going probably mid-range, and it literally would just walk right over, no problem. Didn't care what way they came from. So in boating, when you've driven almost every boat possible, you learn to see the little things. And like I was telling him, I'm a guy with a terrible back, and right now I have no pain in my back at all. From what you just saw, from what you witnessed, from the speed to the top end to the turning to all of that, I feel perfectly fine. Like I could jump up on that deck right now and go fishing. So yeah, so the ride itself is the best thing. It is by far the best. Speed's great, but the ride itself is something that you can't, I've never had a boat that can, let's just say, do the same qualities, do everything that it needs. When I say that it accepts water, when I talk about how it accepts water, it's how it comes into the hull, and the hull actually utilizes the water and forces it away. It's not like it's spining you. It never spines you. It never gets you to that numbing feeling. You always get the exception, the roll, the ride, and it never loses contact. You can't ask for anything more. And he didn't hold back. I mean, he didn't hold back going that way. He didn't hold back coming back across. It was pretty choppy over there. Not once did we take anything over the bow, none of that stuff. It just rolled right over it. So, extremely impressed. Extremely impressed. Quiet, smooth ride for definitely what you're seeing. It is quiet, smooth ride. We were comparing it. I was comparing it probably turning wise. It's probably the closest accepting turnable boat as a champion when it comes to that, and ride wise it's one of the closest boats to the champion 203 feel that I've ever been around. So yeah, all right, we're kicking Heath out. Jordan's getting in. I'm gonna rip the Gambler. It's gonna be badass.
Ready to go for a rip?
Yeah, you ready to go boating?
Let's go.
I'm ready to rip this Gambler as hard as I can. Honestly, it's an amazing boat. It really is. Being that we don't have really all the correct camera gear to be able to get into it like he did, but no lie, 83 miles an hour is right over here. So I'm not going to do 83 with this because we'll lose some stuff. We're going to lose cameras, we're going to lose mics, we're going to lose Jordan, and I don't want to do that right now. But it's really, really an unbelievable boat. We may get it to go really fast when you don't have the camera. We'll like put it between your legs on the way back on the last one if you want.
I'll just grab the GoPro. We got to do it for the people.
We got to do it for the people, he said. So yeah, we can do that. I mean, because like at 82 in this chop, you wouldn't be able to stay in like that. Impressive. Is it not impressive? There's a lot more to get out of it. I mean, there's a lot more to get out of it. It's pretty damn cool. It's pretty damn cool. That's all I got to say.
What are your closing thoughts?
Like I said before, it's an unbelievable boat. High quality. Performance, it's probably close to one of the top performing boats that I've been in. And I'm just not saying that, you know, I'm just not saying that. It really truly is. You need to definitely go check them out. You need to get in line, and you need to at least get over here, get down here to Santee and ask Keith Murphy for a test drive if you really, because as it goes here, I think that's, and he told me that from the beginning, you got to get in one to understand really what it's all about. So, and he's right. I mean, the quality's there, you know about that. Now you got to get in one to do a ride. So, yeah. Awesome, awesome. Fun day. It was great to be here. All right, here we go. This was probably the funnest part on this trip. Granted, I love being a part, being inside the boat, seeing how it's being built. But the run, it was awesome. The drive was awesome. I have an older Gambler. I've been in some older Gamblers. This boat blows it away. It really does. It takes the old Gamblers and just changes. Performance-wise, it was something I've never been around. When I say performance, the top end, the steering, the handling, the chop that Heath and I were in, and they weren't small. We were over in some pretty good rollers. We didn't get them necessarily on camera when Heath and I were driving around, but I'm telling you what, guys, this is no bullshit when it comes to this boat. This boat is probably second, if not first, but they don't make the one that I'm going to talk about. The Champion is probably as close as I can get to a ride. I was talking to him, and I mentioned about it. I was talking to Heath when we were driving it about how it accepts the water. And when I say accepts the water, is how the control versus the impact versus the drivability, all of that mixed in when them waves come, and it's second to none. It's second to none in the boating industry right now. So I can't say enough good things about that boat. The seats, how you sat, the ride, and granted, now the boat we were out in is basically their test boat. They put stuff into that boat. You know, there's pumps laying places. I mean, that's Heath's basically his little office, his workstation to go try new stuff. So, but that boat's amazing. That boat is flat out amazing. Quiet ride, smooth. Speed is ridiculous. The trim tabs are amazing. I mean, Jordan was in it. He said the same thing. What, this thing got a second gear? What goes on there? He's exactly right. You literally feel it just release, and you know, setting down and just running the tabs down and just no water. What more do I need to say? You need to check them out. You definitely need to check them out. You need to call, get a hold of Gambler, and you need to get this Gambler experience started. And I'm not just saying it because I'm here. I mean, you guys know me. If I thought it sucked, I'd flat out say it sucked. I mean, I went through some things with Heath, and there's really nothing when I was going through the boat that I disliked, you know. So Heath's mind is always working to try to be next best, I think, and they're close to being. I don't know how you can make it better. I really don't. You got to go check them out. So get a hold of them. Even just go on their website, look them up, check it out. Check out I think, like they said, they got the white boat and they got the black boat on there that you can see. Obviously, more pictures to come as they keep stamping them out, but get a hold of them. I personally would like to thank Scott, Heath, and Will for inviting us down, inviting us, and taking the time out of their day, taking the time out of the production to basically just open up the door and allow us in to do what we needed to do the filming, do the run, and just talk to us about the company, talk to us about the boats. I can't say enough about those guys and the company itself. So you guys, awesome. I appreciate you. There it is. Factory tour is over. Let us know. Comment on what you think. If you like this style video, we'll reach out. Give us some names of some factories you'd like us to tour. We'll go do it. I'm not scared, as long as they let me in, because maybe I bashed them one time. They don't like me no more, but doesn't matter. So comment down here. Comment, subscribe, and click notification bell to witness the madness that I call, and now I hope every Gambler owner is soon to call, speed, money, and no brakes. We're out. See ya.